And we are live. This is episode number 7 of Savages in the Bronx, live from Studio 54 in New Jersey and REM Studio in Staten Island, New York, airing exclusively on Twitch and powered by StreamYard. And welcome back to the show on this Monday, April the 26th, 2021. I am your host, Rich Rivera, and I'm being joined by a guy who probably just got pissed drunk on the golf course this past weekend, Tom Wospil.
I did not. Aaron Judge just missed a home run by like a foot. So, Rugi, that's foul and very short.
All right, John, forget
it. No, I did not actually. The dog was very sick this weekend, so yeah, she's better now. Got her some took her to the vet. We had her some like antibiotics, but she didn't sleep Friday night. Therefore, my wife and I didn't sleep Friday night, which is just a rough way to go into the weekend. Like you going in like that is it's hard to recover. So
100%. Yeah, nobody wants that. On the flip side, I've been in quarantine, so I've just looked forward to this Monday night over the last week because I've done absolutely fucking nothing. So this is great. You played a lot of
MLB The Show, I imagine.
Oh, yes, of course I played a ton of MLB The Show. Of course, I was just collecting diamonds. I was like diamond collector. I was like a miner over here. It was ridiculous. My team still stinks, though. But
you gotta teach me how to collect those diamonds, man. I don't understand.
Well, you're the Xbox user who's now getting used to MLB The Show 21. So
yeah,
you still have a lot of learning. And
so much.
I'm here to teach you there, bud. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot that goes to that Diamond Dynasty, man. Hey, you know what's a cool feature about MLB The Show this year is now, since the Somerset Patriots are the AA affiliate of the Yankees, the Somerset Patriots are in the game. So I can play as the Martian, rocking the Patriots jersey, hitting bombs everywhere from the left side of the plate, right side of the plate, and I could do it in a Somerset uniform. It's so cool.
Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely really cool to see a team for me even is probably 15 minutes away, in the game like that. That's it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love it. Only if they got like TD Bank Ballpark dimensions and like the actual like the field itself in the game, that'd be really cool. But hey, they got the state
Target right there and everything.
Yeah, they get the Target, the Applebee's, all that good stuff. Mark's backstage listening right now. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. Where's our special guest later on tonight when we get into our main bit on Savages in the Bronx. But hey, guys, we do have a special announcement. If you don't follow us on Twitter, but Savages of the Bronx is now on YouTube. So you can check out all our full episodes and best of clips over there. So, our interview with John Jastrzemski over with the Ringer and Joe Rivera over with the Sporting News. It's all up there. So all our past episodes, of course, including tonight's episode, will be on YouTube following tonight's broadcast. So you can check out Savages of the Bronx on YouTube. So go like, subscribe, do all the great stuff, follow, whatever the kids say. So YouTube.
That's what they say. They say YouTube.
They say YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, right?
Hit that subscribe
button.
I got to turn on notifications. I've watched enough YouTube in my day.
Right. Push notifications so the episode's up there that you're probably not going to watch anyway. Anyway, yeah, but we're on YouTube, so check us out there. So let's get into some news and notes before we bring in our special guest. The Bronx is burning, of course, and right now it's not looking good in Camden Yards. 2-0 lead for the Orioles, except Tom actually has the game on, so it might have just changed. I don't know. You're right. He acted just weird right there.
No, it's just still 2-0. Harvey still only got up one hit, but Camden Yards small. We've seen enough games there. A 5 spot can be thrown up at any point in that stadium, so plenty of time left.
Plenty of time left. Devin Garcia making his season debut for the Yankees this year, so. Hopefully the Yankees can come back into this contest. Cedric Mullins leading off with a home run against Debbie. That's a rude awakening. Welcome back to the Bigs, Debbie. And a solo home run.
What a jerk.
What a dick, that guy. Cedric Mullins, though, big year for him for the Baltimore Orioles. But hey, we were just talking about Camden Yards before. One of the most beautiful stadiums in all of baseball. Plenty of times been down to Camden. What are your thoughts on Oriole Park at Camden Yards?
I think it's probably I think it's the best ballpark in that I've been to. The atmosphere there is great. They have the best hot dogs in baseball. The SK Franks, delicious. It's a good hot dog they got down there. It's just a good vibe. I just really enjoy it. It's affordable. Good place.
Good place.
Warehouse. Got the balls on the ground from the warehouse for the long home runs.
Best dogs in baseball. That's a take right there. You don't want Dodger fans listening in on that. You don't want Red Sox fans listening on that. But then again, if you're a Red Sox fan listening on a Yankee show, you know what to do. Click that red X in the corner of your screen and get the hell out of here because you're not on the right show.
Listen, I haven't had probably never had a Dodger dog. I wasn't at Dodger Stadium when I was 4. So I can't comment on the quality of the hot dog at Dodger Stadium. I just know the SK Frank is fantastic.
It is just as good as Julio Rivera cooking it in the backyard.
Julio,
that's good. Shout out to Julio. Anyway, chat is lit as always on Twitch. Took45, our buddy Matt goes, who will pitch more relief innings this year, Chad Green or Jonathan Loaizaga? I mean, these guys have been just completely abused by Aaron Boone, so that's a tough question.
Yeah, I mean, I would think Loaizaga maybe, because Green sometimes gets thrown in there where it's like, hey Chad, there's 1 out, bases are loaded, get us out of this. He comes and gets the 2 outs and he's done. So, but both of those guys have been great. Love to see Loaizaga get his first save over the weekend in Cleveland. Yankees looked really good out there for once. It was nice just to see the Bronx Bombers bombing.
Yeah,
a lot of home runs, good pitching. We had that marquee matchup Saturday night. Cole, Bieber lived up to every bit of it. A really fun time. It was just fun to watch the Yankees win. Yankees wins fun. It's more fun when they win. I know last week we were, just yelling and screaming, and I feel better today.
Oh yeah, I feel great. We got a lot out there. They've gone 4-2 since we absolutely eviscerated them on last week's show. So maybe
you're welcome.
I don't know. Now. But you mentioned Loaizaga. Yeah, I think Loaizaga probably will log in a few more innings just because of he's just coming off of his starting pitching through the system. He's gonna be a guy who's gonna just organically log in more innings there. Great start for him on his 2021 campaign. A 1.35 ERA in 13 innings pitched. Johnny Lasagna. Love to see it. Just love to see it. And our last quick note here, and I thought this was more interesting than anything. And of course, it didn't have really any legs, but the fact that Buster Olney went out and said hey, yeah, there was a flirtation between the Yankees and Angels of possibly trading Aaron Judge to Los Angeles. What were your thoughts when this report came out? And do you think this is the truth?
I mean, if Olney's putting it out there, I'm sure it's the truth. I'm sure there's a lot of conversations that happen that we never know about. People just kind of kicking the tires. Judge is that odd case where he's still on, he's not really getting paid yet, but he's older. We were questioning in the offseason, what's his contract going to look like when they have to extend him or they have to, re-sign him. So, I think it's fair, a good job by the Angels just to check in hey, what's, what would it cost? I would love to know what the Yankees response was because, they're running a business and everything's for sale. So there is a price on Aaron Judge. I mean, obviously we're not going to get Mike Trout for Aaron Judge, but there's a deal that the Yankees would make today to trade Aaron Judge if it was right for him. So very curious to see what the offer was.
I kind of want to seek out the WFAN listeners in our Twitch chat right now. So, guys, I'm going to ask you, and I'll look at the answers towards the end of tonight's show. If the Yankees were to trade Aaron Judge to the Angels, who would you realistically want in return? So,
Judge,
straight for Trout,
Lasagna, and Davi for Mike Trout.
A realistic trade, Aaron Judge to the Angels, who the Yankees getting back. And I'll look at your answers, and we'll talk about it later on tonight, but we're going to move on from the Bronx is burning and plug some Twitters. You can follow us at Savages Bronx. You can follow Tom at
Wospil54.
And you can follow me at Rich J. Rivera. But most importantly, you can follow our +1. Yeah, this is a nice +1 to have at a wedding here. Our +1, you can follow him at Marc Schwartz 26 on Twitter. But tonight, he can tell you himself because following his graduation from Quinnipiac University, he became a journeyman. He worked in media relations with the Charlotte Stone Crabs, the Long Island Ducks, and of course, most recently, the Somerset Patriots. Now, while I was entertaining the fans at TD Bank Ballpark, he was doing the same from the booth. making his way as the director of broadcasting and media relations, and becoming the play-by-play man for the Somerset Patriots on 1450, WCTC, and ESPN.TV. And on top of all of this, he is now the host of Patriots in Pinstripe podcast. Oh, and of course, he is that guy who caught that foul ball. Ladies and gentlemen, Marc Schwartz is out here on Savages in the Bronx.
Boy, Rich can talk, can he?
What an introduction, man, Rich. First of all, Rich and Tom, thank you guys for having me. But man, that's probably the best introduction I've ever had in my life. That was incredible.
So I have Kimmel beat, I have ESPN beat. That's a good start.
Well, you made it over at TD Bank Ballpark with your introductions before, so I guess I couldn't have expected anything
actually,
less.
You just reminded me. I kind of wanted to get a little bit more in character here, so I kind of wanted to put on some digs here. Little Pats uniform. At this rate, I think it's a retro jersey because I think they retired this one. They now have a more pinstripe look.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got to get those pinstripes on you, but it still looks good, man. Still looks good.
Well, Marc, welcome to the show. It's such a pleasure of having you, and I had the utmost pleasure of working with you for 3 years over in Somerset. But I wanted to start things off, and it's just been a whirlwind for you over the last few years. Obviously, media relations, play-by-play commentary, the catch, which we're obviously going to talk about later. And now this AA move to the Yankees. How do you sum up the last few years in just a few words?
It's tough. It's tough, right, man? I mean, look, last year was crazy. Everything going on with the losing out on a normal season. It's been a lot of fun with the Patriots, but last year was a tough year for sure. But we come out on the other side of that with all of this new momentum. I mean, yeah, we didn't have a season in 2020, but we come out in November 7th, we make an announcement that we're all of a sudden the AA affiliate of the New York Yankees. And what better way to come out of having a completely lost season to have that kind of announcement? And since that point, I mean, the momentum's been crazy. The excitement level, not only just for us in the front office. I mean, you can imagine, Rich, you know a lot of us personally, like all of us just getting super, super excited about this. But all of the fans that are reaching out also. We had like a huge increase in season ticket numbers after the announcement came out. And, there's a ton of Yankee fans in our area. And we get people reaching out every day, whether it be on social media. I got people calling me on my direct line at the ballpark that are asking, specifics about players. They want to talk Yankees. Everyone wants to know, eventually Yankees players can have some injury issues. You look at somebody like Stanton or Judge or Gary Sanchez, or I don't have to tell you guys, but everyone wants to know when's that Yankee, when's Judge, when's Stanton playing at that ballpark that's across the street from Target, and it's just this crazy feeling that like everyone's always viewed the Patriots as this community team. We've been affiliate, we've been independent, right, for so long. And now we have this connection, and now it's really starting to sink in, especially now that the baseball season started and that we're a week away. It's sinking in for people to really go like, well, the Yankees are playing just down the road at TD Bank Ballpark. It's just this wild idea I never thought would actually happen, and now we're a week away from it actually starting. So it's been crazy. It's been nuts, but it's been a lot of fun, and we can't wait to get going.
Yeah, I gotta say, Marc, you've really shifted the balance of power in the room here. So as you know, Rich worked with the Somerset Patriots. I actually interned with the Trenton Thunder, so we've had a bit of a civil war of taking of minor league teams. My dad's a season ticket holder down there, so I'm excited because I live closer now to Somerset than I do to Trenton. But what are you most looking forward to calling AA baseball games with future stars on the field?
Yeah, that's the biggest part of it, honestly, Tom. I mean, I love the players that I've worked with over the past 7 years working with the Patriots. I mean, we've had a lot of really quality guys, a lot of good names, really strong ball players that have come through our ballpark. But when you look at what this means now, AA moving forward, I mean, we're going to have some top level prospects coming through, not only Yankee prospects, but look at all of the other teams in the league. They're going to be having some of their guys coming through as well. I mean, for us this year, and I'm sure we'll get into it, but one of the things about the Yankees farm system, a lot of the top end talent are on the younger side. So we're hoping to see, some big names like Luis Gil is somebody that we're hopefully zeroing in on. He's been at the alt site over the last couple of weeks. We're hoping that he's in Somerset. He was assigned to us. There's some other pitchers that we can get into. But a lot of the big names in the Yankee system are maybe about a year away. But you look at some of these other organizations. I mean, I've thrown out this name a couple of times now, but the Baltimore Orioles, who, you know, kind of works in with the storyline for today's show so far, they've got a top prospect, Adley Rutschman, top catcher, number 1 or 2 prospect, depending on what list you look at online. He's probably playing for their AA affiliate Bowie. And, you know, they come to TD Bank Ballpark this year as well. So when you're asking me, you know, what am I most looking forward to? It's the prospects, the Yankee prospects that are going to be coming through, and also the prospect teams. I don't know if people honestly realize the dramatic increase in the level of talent and the kind of superstars that we're going to be seeing coming through here in a matter of weeks. And you're only going to have to look maybe half a year and a half down the road to see these guys making significant impacts at the major league level. So it's going to be real exciting.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned a great point there, and it's funny because, like, when I'm talking to a few friends, they're like, "Wow, like Somerset Patriots are bringing in the AA, like the AA affiliate of the Yankees." You didn't think about, like, yeah, the opponents, like the players you're gonna see. So that's actually a great point. And seeing a guy like Adley Rutschman at TD Bank Ballpark is just, it's exciting. It's exciting to think that could happen, and it will happen. Just joining us, Marc Schwartz of the Somerset Patriots, play-by-play commentator, director of media relations, and host of Patriots and Pinstripes. That's been a fun podcast to listen to on WCTC. He's joined us here on Savage in the Bronx, and we're very happy to have him on. But I do want to talk about a certain individual, Steve Califer. In my 3 years of working with the Somerset Patriots, you know, I've had the pleasure of getting to talk to and know Mr. Califer, and you know, you saw it on social media how loved he was by his peers and across baseball and even small businesses in the area. And it was such a tough news to take in of hearing him passing away. What did Steve Califer mean to Marc Schwartz?
Oh man, that's you know, that's a tough one, Rich. I actually earlier today just came from his family Shiva over in Somerville to honor his passing and his life. Steve meant everything, you know, not only just to the Somerset Patriots community, but to me as well. I was talking to his sons, Josh and Jonathan. I was telling them earlier tonight, my first year in Somerset was 2015, my first season. And I wasn't the play-by-play broadcaster at that time. But Steve really enjoyed some of the work that I was putting out, specifically with some video content. And we actually, just Steve and myself, we went into New York City one day to meet up with Joe Torre. Steve wanted to film a little piece with Joe Torre that we were going to air at our ballpark, and Steve and Joe were longtime friends. And so we went into New York City, the Major League Baseball offices. We met with Joe, who's Joe's the nicest guy in the world. Like, everything that people have said about Joe, you know, from his time managing the Yankees is true. I mean, he's just the best. And so the video shoot went really well, and Steve and I afterwards, because Steve was so happy with how it went, he took me out for lunch in New York City. We had a great one-on-one conversation for 2 hours, and that really set up my entire experience, honestly, working for the Patriots. He told me that he believed in me. He saw that I was working hard. He wanted me to stay with the team as long as I could. A couple of years later, I get the play-by-play opportunity, and ever since then, not only would Steve say wonderful things to me while I was at the ballpark, but on a number of different occasions, he gave me a phone call. And that was the big thing with Steve. And Rich, I'm sure that you had this experience with him as well. He's very personal, and he wants to make sure that you don't feel like you're just another person, that he's establishes a connection, a relationship with you. And he gave me a number of phone calls on a number of special occasions. When I had that catch, he gave me a call, told me how proud he was and how well I represented the organization. I recently had a couple of my own grandparents pass due to COVID, and he had given me a call after he got that news. And unfortunately, I didn't answer the phone, but he left me just this wonderful voicemail. So it's really hard to sum up exactly what Steve means to me. I could say quite confidently that I don't think I would be in the position I am right now if it wasn't for him. He does so much for the organization to put us in a position to be successful. And really the last gift that he gave to all of us was this Yankee partnership. We were unaffiliated, we were independent for so long, and we had a lot of success. And the last big thing that he does for the organization is put all of us in an even better position to be successful by setting us up with a Yankee partnership as their AA affiliate for the next 10 years. So, he's a great guy. He's gone too soon, and we all remember him glowingly, and hope to honor his life by working hard and doing right at the ballpark for this season and the years to come.
He exceeded in the role of chairman, and it's amazing in the very small opportunities I had to talk to Steve. He would be down the field. You wouldn't think he's the chairman of the team. He's just so personal. He talked to anyone, any fan, any employee. He was just so welcoming. He was welcoming for me. I remember being nervous in one of my first days doing on-field host stuff, and he put his arm around my shoulder and he was like, whatever you do, just make it a loud statement. And I was like, okay, you got it.
Not a problem for you.
Nobody would have ever guessed that you were nervous.
He didn't know if on.
Nobody would ever guess that you were nervous, Rich, by the way you commanded that field, man. Nobody would ever guess that.
I was petrified. I was absolutely petrified. But yeah, Steve was very comforting, and he was such a great, and he was like, there's one of those guys, like, I would want to like go out of my way to like greet him and say, hey, how are you? How's your day? And he'd be so like just welcoming. And it was such a sad news piece that came out, over a week ago. And we do send our best to the entire Califer family, the Somerset Patriots family. It's a tough loss for all of us. We lost them as a community more than just, a team.
Well, I appreciate that, Rich. We're trying to do right. I spoke with one of his sons, Jonathan, earlier today. He said every single ceremony and service and everything that they've done for Steve since his passing, the weather's been beautiful. So he said Steve's looking down on us and promises no tarp pulls this year. No rainouts, no nothing. He's looking down, and we're going to have a wonderful season this year.
Well, speaking of tarp pulls, Tom can attest to it because he had a few of them in AA.
Yeah.
I only did one tarp pull in my life, and it was the most fun ever, and I regret not being part of more of them.
Oh man, when you're on the walkie-talkies and you hear like, get down here, tarp pool. You get down there, like people cheer for you. You're getting the tarp on the field. Taking the tarp off the field is horrible, Rich. I don't know if you had ever take it off and then roll it back up properly. And then after you mess it up, you have to unroll it and do it again. But you're doing it when it's like the next day and it's like, it's summer, so it's 85 degrees and it's sunny. That part's not fun. But rolling the tarp out is a lot of fun.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's Tom's onto something, because you have that muggy day, the day after it rained, and the thing is, all of that water, it sits on the tarp. It's not going anywhere. So when you got to pull it off, everyone grabs one end and you just book it. You just book it across the field, and that thing is heavy. That water is weighing down. That thing is real heavy, and I mean, I'm not in good shape at all, but man, I am freaking winded by the time I get to the end of that.
And I think that's one thing, Mark, that I don't know if a lot of people realize about minor league, teams and organizations, is that it's like a family, and it's a team effort for everyone. It's everyone's out there. The play-by-play guys out here helping to get the tarp off the field. Like, it's some of the hardest working people you're ever going to see work in minor league sports. On day games, they're getting there at 8 a.m. They're there till midnight, and then they're getting there the next day. They're grinders, those people. Everyone who works in the front office and related. So, hats off for you to still do it. I did it for 1 year, and it was rough.
Yeah, we do it because we love it, right, Tom? I mean, we work in sports, and we do these podcasts, and we try to talk about it, and we try to be surrounded by it as much as we can because we love it, and we can't imagine doing anything else. So, the tarp pulls and the long days, it all comes with the territory. But, at the end of the day, we get to say that we worked in baseball, and that makes it worth it.
At the end of the day, you're like watching a baseball game right now, and I'm at work, and that's pretty cool. Yeah, and you're gonna have a lot of fun things, I'm sure, being affiliated with the Yankees. One of my favorite, probably a favorite, also not favorite moments is when I worked for the Thunder. There was a day I was working inside during the game. I had to work like the elevators, and guy walks in, says something, and I'm like, oh hey, just walk through that way. And then I look up and I'm like, that was Reggie Jackson. I probably should have not just like supped him. So you're going to see some guys coming through. I'm telling you, all of a sudden it's like, hey guys, Reggie's going to be here today. Or, listen, Bernie might be coming by. You're going to see some guys coming through there.
Tom, ever the disrespectful intern he was. Good thing we had Tom there.
God.
We have to talk about the catch. I mean, you're probably sick of it at this rate, and you put your head down, you're laughing, and I'm like, oh boy. But hey, let's turn back the clock. May 2019, High Point Rockers, Somerset Patriots. You know the deal.
Aside from the Patriots and the Ducks with double-digit wins on the young season, 1-1. Produlo swings and fouls it off towards the broadcast booth, and I make the catch on the foul.
Unbelievable.
I am very proud of myself. Hope somebody got video of that. I caught it on the fly.
Wait for the best part.
And it's a 1-2 count.
Not that.
Boy, am I impressive.
Phenomenal. Just phenomenal. And that was very amateurly done on my end, playing that off my phone. But it had to be played because it is singly one of the greatest things I've ever seen in the history of the Somerset Patriots was that catch. I mean, we went viral here, Mark. Jimmy Kimmel, ESPN. I mean, come on, take me through what you were going through at that time.
Dude, it's crazy, man. I mean, looking back and the reaction that people still have when they play that video. I had a buddy of mine that he lives up in Connecticut, and like he works at like a firehouse. And his buddies were like playing the video on their big screen like last weekend. It's like, geez, man. But you know what? The video, I'm grateful that it happened. Honestly, it was the wildest experience of my life. Like that catch happened, and I didn't really think much of it. Like it was fun for me because I've been waiting for something like that. Just the opportunity to catch a foul ball for a while. So I was happy that I made it. Like in the video, you could see I'm kind of like doing this kind of thing because I was just like naturally excited. Actually, Rich, I don't know if you remember, there was another video of me catching like a t-shirt.
Yep. And I was there for it and I called it.
Exactly.
Yep.
I put it on my Instagram and you're in the background. You could hear your voice in the background. And I was doing the same kind of punching thing, which I guess is apparently my go-to move. So, watch out if you're on a dance floor near me because I might punch you.
This is why he's the single man in the booth. This is why he's the only man in the booth, so he doesn't take anybody out next to him. But yes, I do remember this. And I was like, this is not surprised. Mark has great hands. He caught the t-shirt. That would take us 50 tries to hit the booth, and he made it on the first try that he had the chance. Yeah, it was amazing. Now, I think you just answered it, though. Was that the first time you ever caught a foul ball?
It depends. Do I have time for a quick story?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So it's the first time I ever caught a foul ball in the booth. There's one other time that I caught a foul ball. I wasn't calling a game. I was a fan. I was actually at Citi Field watching the Mets play. And it was a Mets San Francisco Giants game. And I was very lucky. I went because one of my buddies, very well off. His family has seats right behind the dugout, first base side, front row. So you get invited to go front row to a baseball game. You're not going to turn that down, right? So there was a couple of foul balls that came close that I never actually wound up catching. But in between innings, teams would take their regular infield drills. Like the first baseman has the ball, throws it on the ground, and everyone throws back. And so the Mets had a first base coach at the time, and his name is escaping me, but I kept on yelling at him during the game to send me over a foul ball. So eventually, he threw me over a foul ball. I got jacked up, so I continued to chirp throughout the rest of the day. I had this foul ball. Aubrey Huff was playing first base for the San Francisco Giants at the time. And Aubrey's got him.
By the way.
What's that?
Tom loves Aubrey Huff. He's a huge Aubrey Huff fan, but continue.
You big Aubrey Huff guy?
I couldn't be less of an Aubrey Huff guy.
Well, then you'll enjoy this story. So I was chirping him the entire time. And I didn't really know much about Aubrey aside from, look, he was a guy that I knew that was on the other team. So I was just yelling at him. I was in college at the time, so I thought I was hilarious. Yelling at him the entire game. I had my foul ball. I'm all excited. It was a really windy day at Citi Field, so there's a fry box, like a box of French fries that made its way onto the field. And it rolls to Aubrey Huff. He's at the first base bag. He picks it up, and he tries to turn to throw it off the field, and he puts a decent amount of his body behind the throw, and the fry box just goes straight down. Just absolutely goes straight down, no distance. And I just yell at him. I'm just like, nice throw, Aubrey, way to go. And he turns around at me. So he's looking this way. He turns around at me and he looks at me and he just goes go screw yourself. And then turns around and starts playing again.
Sounds about right.
So that's my Aubrey Huff story. And that's my foul ball story. But that was the first one I ever caught in the booth.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're going to make that call. Like, it was just like the concentration of it. That's why it's just an amazing play. I just don't know if anyone else can make that same play and call it at the same time as if it was a player on the field. That's what it's just double amazing. And I'm sorry that I'm kissing your ass so much because it's just fantastic.
Hey, no, dude, it's fine. I'm enjoying it. Keep saying nice things about me. It's great.
Yeah, Mark's fantastic. He's got beautiful eyes.
The ability to call it. I mean, we had the same play happen over the weekend, right, or late last week, where a guy in the booth did the same thing, but he didn't call it. He just kind of like he saw it, he caught it, and to be able to like just the middle of the stream, just still get it, still talk. That's impressive.
Well, you know what the thing is with that, Tom, and you guys will appreciate this. And Rich, I know you know this from being at our ballpark. We're entertainers, right? Like I'm a broadcaster, but I'm trying to entertain people. So like when I make the catch, there's two groups of people that I need to entertain. There's the radio listeners who need to know what's happening. And, I just fumbled around with the mic and a ball came right at me. So I got to tell them what's happening. I'm not going to not tell them. And then there's also the fans that are in the ballpark that just saw me make the catch. So I got to entertain the people that are listening. And, I got to ham it up for the people that are in the ballpark. Because, Rich, you know this, and Tom, you probably know this from your time in Trenton. You get to know everyone in the ballpark, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's people, you see them every day. And it's one of the great things about minor league baseball. Everyone's a family. It's a really tight-knit community.
Yeah.
So these are people that I talk to all the time at the ballpark who know me well. They saw me make the catch, so I'm going to play it up a little bit for them.
Of course.
So I did both at the same time, and I don't know. I guess it came out all right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel talked about it. I think it came out decently. But yes, great points. And TD Bank Ballpark, and if you guys in the chat hadn't had the opportunity to go to TD Bank Ballpark, I know the season starts in, I believe, 8 days.
Crazy.
I believe 8 days already. So yeah, if you haven't had the opportunity, go down to the Jewel in Bridgewater. It's a beautiful ballpark with a beautiful Target across the street. But no, it's a beautiful ballpark.
With beautiful parking lot that's right there. That really,
it's great.
The Lowe's over there. No, it's a great ballpark to be around. Great environment. And it doesn't matter like what age. It's almost like Disney World. Like you go down to Disney World at any age and have a great time. You can go down to TD Bank Ballpark and have a great time. Family fun. It's just it is the best, and I highly recommend if you haven't gone to the Jewel, go to the Jewel and catch the Pats, kick some ass this year. Anyway, if you're just joining us, Marc Schwartz of the Somerset Patriots has joined us to talk about the Pats' move from indie ball to AA ball. We've had some great talks about Steve Califer, the catch, but he's about to take on a challenge, which has been a fun challenge to do. Now, before we do that challenge plus this show is brought to you by our great sponsor, Sincerely Alley Studio. Of course, since 2020, Sincerely Alley has been doing a great job in customizing coffee mugs and wine glasses and scented candles. Hey, maybe you get a coffee mug that says, "Boy, am I impressive. What a play by me." I mean, that'd be awesome if Alley could pull that off. But, it's something like after last night's Yankee loss, hey, I had to just light up one of her candles. I think her candle is called "Don't Be a Salty Beach." Yeah, such a great name. All the products are well named. They're adorably put together. So check out Sincerely Alley Studio. On the bottom tick, you can follow them at sincerely.alley. That's with 2 E's on Instagram. And plus, you can visit our Etsy website at Sincerely Alley Studio. All things for your self-care needs, Sincerely Alley. And that was like on-field host Rich coming out right there, I believe.
Sure was.
I felt like I was back at the ballpark. That was nice.
I know.
We're back. We're back with Guess the Graph. And Guess the Graph has been a fun segment because, and I feel like it's just getting tougher and tougher and tougher with this guy, Tom. So if you see behind Tom's right shoulder, left shoulder, I can't tell. Stage left, whatever. He's got a bunch of balls there that are signed by past Yankees, past athletes and whatnot. But we're going to show one of those balls right now. And Mark and our viewers at home are going to take a guess whose autograph this ball belongs to. So here it is for all of y'all, if you can see that clearly.
And I got a pretty decent, clue to give at some point. We'll see if you guys have
Mark, any shot at this one?
So I'm assuming these are all Yankee players.
So this is not a Yankee player. Ooh. It is someone.
Okay.
It's a former player.
Is
a former player. And is someone I'll just say he's a former player for now, and we'll have more hints. But
so
never played for the Yankees.
Okay, before you said former player, that looked like Chris Bryant to me. Like I think you see like a KRIS and then that capital B, kind of an R, and then the 9 going down looks like a Y, kind of a T cross at the end.
You do have the K. That is a K.
That is a K.
It is a K.
Is that an S at the beginning of the last name?
That is an S at the beginning of the last name.
Okay, so it's a K and an
former.
And
it's a former player, right?
And a former player.
Is a former player, yes.
I was gonna take a stab at Kyle Seager, but obviously he's not.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, there you go.
But it's not him.
Anybody in the Twitch chat have any guesses?
It's a former player who is associated with the Yankees. He never played for the Yankees. He never played for the Yankees, but he's associated with the Yankees.
What does associated mean? Like big moment against the Yankees, a coach for the Yankees?
I mean, if I tell you exactly what he does, it'd be a little easier.
Don't give it all
away. I mean, it's a player from not recent. This is a guy from the 70s, right? This is when he had his heyday.
Oh boy, this is a tough one. This might be your toughest one yet. Just because it's not
70s into the 80s. He's a New Yorker. He's born in New York. He was raised in New York. Associated with the Yankees. Associated with the team the Yankees are playing tonight, actually.
Oh, so not played for, but associated with.
He played for the team they're playing tonight. Associated with the Yankees currently.
Ken Singleton
is Ken Singleton.
Kenny Singleton. Yep,
that's a great guess, man. Well done. That was tough. Tough.
I've been telling all the guests, listen, these are the easier ones. I have some hieroglyphics behind me. Mark, I go down to, I haven't the past couple years. I go down to spring training every year, so at times you see guys get autographs down there. That's where basically they all came from. But no, Ken Singleton is pretty good handwriting. I will say, much bigger in person than you would think he looks on TV. I remember seeing him, and Kenny, I think, is in his 70s now. And he looks like he's in his 40s, and he's huge.
My man,
very nice though.
My man can go. Well, Mark, we appreciate you coming on. Before we let you go, I guess we'll just get a little bit of MLB baseball in here. What's your early takes of this 2021 regular season so far?
Oh, that's a good one. I'd like to see the Yankees be playing a little bit better than they have so far. That's been a bummer. But you know what?
Now just a big RBI for the Judge. Stanton scores.
There you go. He's on my fantasy team. He's on my Aaron Judge is on my fantasy team, so I'll take that. So I'd like to see the Yankees playing a little better. Us being in the New York market, I've just been blown away by some of the things that Jacob deGrom's been doing. Just not only on the mound, but at the plate also. He's just been lights out. 15 Ks in his last game. He's the best hitter on the freaking team also.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's just been, he's the only guy that could drive and runs for himself. It's just nuts what he's been doing. So that's really stood out to me. Some of the things that Oakland's been doing, putting those wins together as well, has been crazy. And then I guess one of the biggest stories has been this Dodgers-Padres rivalry. I don't know if you've been watching some of these games, guys, but just the back and forth that they've had, the plays that Mookie Betts makes, and then the at-bats that Fernando Tatis Jr. has, and the numbers that he put up in this series over the weekend. You just want every game to be Dodgers-Padres. And we're going to get to the postseason in the National League, and teams are destined to meet up against each other, and that's going to be must-watch, can't-miss baseball when that happens.
Mark, what are your thoughts on the Padres, the Fernando Tatis, the bat flipping, the yelling, the energy that he brings? What's your thoughts on that?
I love it. I'm sorry. Look, I've talked to a decent amount of people now in different levels of baseball, and I understand that there's purists out there, and from a rules standpoint, I tend to be more of a baseball purist. I'm not as huge into the analytics. I more so I don't like the shift, honestly. So I don't mind some of these new rules that are in the minors where it kind of prevents teams from shifting a little bit. I don't have a problem with that. But when it comes to players having fun, look, this is a game at the end of the day. And I think Trevor Bauer came out with a quote a couple of days ago when he gave up a couple of shots to Tatis. And he was just like, look, if I'm a pitcher and I'm striking somebody out, I'm doing a little like sword kind of whatever dance move or whatever celebration thing that he does, because I won that battle. And, if Tatis Jr., it's not easy to hit off of these pitchers these days. And, for him to go yard a couple of times the way that he does, in my opinion, he's got every right to celebrate. Pitchers can be upset, but you know what? If you're upset, then get the guy out the next time. We need energy. We need enthusiasm. We need fun in this game. Tatis Jr. is one of the most electrifying players in the game, and we should be encouraging him to do what he does to make more people watch baseball and get excited about it. We shouldn't be shutting him up or telling him to dial it down. Be you and have some fun out there.
I couldn't agree more. I want to see every unwritten rule broken. I want to see trots. I want to see bats thrown up in the air like 50 feet. I want to see a pitcher pimp a big strikeout. We need that kind of excitement and intensity back into the game, and I think that will keep more eyes on the product as well. Mark, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on. Obviously, we can check you out on Patriots and Pinstripes, WCTC. You can plug it away yourself, my man, and also if you have anybody to thank.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Rich and Tom, thank you guys for having me on. I've been having some fun with our own podcast. So Patriots and Pinstripes podcast, it's weekly on 1450 WCTC. It's also on Apple. It's on Spotify. It's on Google Podcast. It's on our website as well. I've had some cool guests on. I'm going to have to bring you guys on now at some point also to talk about the Yankees. But I had JJ Cooper from Baseball America on a couple of weeks ago. He was on top of everything with minor league baseball, and he's the guy to go to in terms of prospects. So he talks a lot about the Yankee system. This coming week, actually, we got an episode with the new hitting coach for Somerset, Joe Migliaccio, and you're going to want to tune into that because Joe is down in Tampa right now. He's the hitting coach with the minor leaguers in that camp, and you know what that means? He's working with the Martian. He's one of the hitting coaches down in Tampa, working with So I got a chance to talk to him about that. So that's coming up on this week's pod. Bunch of other fun guests. We're going to keep it rolling throughout the entire season, talking with different guys around the league so we get a sense not only for the Yankee system, but all the other systems in our league. So follow the Patriots on social media. You'll see the posts and check it out. And you can follow Mark once again at Marc Schwartz 26 on Twitter. Mark, it was an absolute pleasure, bud. Let's do this again. Yeah. Thanks, Rich. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks, Mark. Take care, bud. Oh, what up, Tom?
Rich kicked himself out. So, that's I guess that's how that went there. Hopefully he gets his way back in. I don't know how to turn this off. There he is. Instead of letting him go like an amateur, I let myself go off the air. Fantastic listen, job. I've been trying to get you to let yourself go for weeks now. Boy, am I impressive. What a play by me. There you go, ever a time. Oh, God. Mark, it was a pleasure. Let's do this one more time. Take two. Mark, it was an absolute pleasure having you on. Let's do this again real soon. All right. Thanks, Rich. Appreciate it. Gotta love editing after this. All righty. There you go. Oh, that's editing. That stays in. That stays in. Oh, fuck, man. I love this shit. I just love this shit. All right, guys. Well, you can check out my other podcast next week. You can listen into Leading Off at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, also on Twitch, where you talk everything baseball, not just Yankees. And you can also follow us at L Off Podcast as well. What a way to end the show, Tom. Fire. I mean, fire. Gotta love you messing up. Mark was great. Great episode. Loved it. Great episode. Fantastic job by me once again. No, seriously, great job by Mark. Gotta thank him. Most importantly, obviously, for joining us. It was great to have him on and for him to take a few moments of his day to talk baseball and talk about the Pats. A lot of fun talking with Mark again. And gotta thank all our Twitch followers and listeners. Gotta thank my parents for being so supportive all these years. Tom, anybody you want to thank before we call it? I like to thank. I feel like I would just come up with who can I think of? I like to thank the vet this weekend who was able to get some nice antibiotics for my dog, so she stopped like kind of throwing up all over. So she's doing better now. So I want to thank the vet.
Excellent. Let's thank Tom's Bet. Very good, bud. All right, well, that'll do it, folks, for another edition of Savages in the Bronx. We'll see you here next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Twitch.